everyone. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how we built our log cabins. So basically, the first thing we did was we looked at the layout of the cabin, and there's a couple different types. There's the round log cabin, like a Lincoln log cabin, but you could also do upright logs instead. Now, I found these really cool pieces of wood just for free at Lumberyard, like they're in the free bin. So we use these. But if you have logs outside or tree branches, that's also another awesome way to build this house. So the first thing you're gonna do is just go collect materials, because the pioneers had to collect materials off of the land that they were clearing. So for the roof, we used cedar shingles like this. And then for the frames, you would have a nice piece of wood, like actually a good shaped piece of wood. So if you find some bits that are really straight, then that's great. And the first thing, of course, was building the floor. So you're gonna wanna lay down the floorboards. Most of these houses were 10 by 14. So 10 by 14 feet, that's not much at all. And I'm even gonna do a sketch for my log cabin project to figure it out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just make a little bit of a plan, and then I can also make a materials list. So 10 by 14, a little bit of a rectangle, 10 by 14 feet. And if you've ever been to a country market or a farmer's market, each of those stalls is 10 by 10. So that's pretty tiny. That's enough for, you know, a fold-out table. It's not very big. And what we'd have is a chimney. So that's my measurement. I'm gonna need to build a chimney. And so I might want some rocks for that. And I'm just gonna make a little supply list. Rocks, maybe some wood for the frame. And in the cabin, so here we're gonna put the chimney, and then they'd cook around the chimney, and maybe they'd have a table set up, right, for everyone to eat at. And then they might have a separate room, maybe, that they could put a bed in. It might just be a 1-bedroom, but let's say they had the 2 bedrooms over here, and then they might have a ladder going up to lofts so that above there's also sleeping. So you could actually have 4 bedrooms. And maybe one of those bedrooms is for storage. Maybe it's a place where they keep extra blankets for the winter or candle making material. And then the front door, maybe we'll have the front door over here. So there's room there around that fireplace to do, maybe have even a little, there's gonna be a kitchen area here. So pretty basic. Now that's from a bird's eye view. I might wanna do a sketch from the side too. So I'm gonna have, we'll make it 3-dimensional here. Here we go. So I'll have my fireplace, and then I'd have maybe a little countertop there where I can put some things for the kitchen. And here's gonna be our table area. And then the bedrooms off there. And maybe some hooks on the wall to hang things on. And maybe a window. So just start to like sketch out what your plan might look like. And then they would have these logs, of course, that they would cut down to size. Or they would make notches in them. They'd cut this part out, and so that the other part could sit on top. So they cut that out. And then the other log could sit on top and go that way, and so forth. That's why when you see log cabins, you see the rounds coming out, because they're notched into each other. So some of the things I see in this house, there's a buffet, it's called. A buffet is like where all the plates were and the pots. And here's a milking churn. You've got some tools to clean out the fireplace. And the pots and pans were actually hanging right on the fireplace. There's a pot, and so there's probably a tripod, a rocking chair and a bench. Here's a little washing up area. Of course, there's no running water. So there's a little basin and a water jug, and you'd go fill that up. And then the loft you can see up here and the ladder. So those might be some of the things that you make. Now this back room over here, that might have been the outhouse. So that you would have to go outside and go to the bathroom, but your outhouse might have been further away. So let's see what some of our students made. Here's some of the materials that we have. So here's an example of one of the ones that got made. So we have the shingle roof, and they created a little frame, and then they also had a loft area. It's just on its side here. And they had stairs, which is great. We had a little door on hinges. Started to build up the wall and shingled roof. So just have fun with it. Gather materials around the yard and see what you can make out of a log cabin. And then you can hot glue it together, or you can use tape, or if you're really good, you can use hammer and nail. When you go to make the roof, make sure that you make an A-frame like this. So you have an A-frame, and then make sure that it's at something like a 45-degree angle. Is pretty good. And then put some crossbars across, and you can shingle on top of that. And when we shingle, another little trick is, let's say these are our cross pieces. Start at the bottom and work your way up. So when people make roofs, they always start at the bottom. And another good tip is overlap. So this one goes in between, that one goes in between. You might put another little one in there, and use different size shapes so that you can get all those nooks and crannies. You don't want any gaps. You wouldn't want the rain to come through. But they might also do a lining of hay on it first. So if you have any hay, you could put the hay on first. So that's a little bit your first project here on building a log cabin. The next part of this lesson, we're gonna actually do the math and how they knew how to get the right size timber. So in our next video, we're gonna do quite a bit of math, but it's gonna be really fun. See you in the next video.